Well, that's just one of the strange events that appears in the last episode. You can check it out if you want to know. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to the Interrogation Files Port Landsend. Let's just get it on. Let's try bedroom.
Any idea what happened in the bedroom the night of the attack?
I have no idea. Maybe nothing, my friend's going to sleep. Or something else.
That's Heather.
Have you ever been in the Morgan's bedroom?
Wow, that's a bit forward, even for you guys.
Keep in mind, you're under oath.
I mean, yeah, I've seen it before, sure. Doesn't make me a murderer. Nice try.
Ha ha ha. Let's try spell.
We have something we need to call on your expertise for. It's this.
I'm no mind reader.
Oh,
Help me out.
you're not? Well, I figured with your background.
Perhaps I used the wrong choice of words. I've not developed the ability to see through physical objects and layers. Would you mind telling me what it is I meant to be sharing my expertise on?
So polite.
It's a tooth.
That is a tooth.
A big one.
Right. Well, what's it doing here?
We found it at the crime scene, the victim's house. It was in the wall.
In the wall?
Yes.
Well, what was it doing there?
We thought you might know.
Oh, I see. Because of my shop. Your kind never liked my shop, did you, Michael? Well, if you must know, what you're looking at is likely related to folk magic. From the subtropics. I assume talismanic in nature. But for what kind of spell, it's hard to guess. You could enchant or bind an incantation to someone. It could be a number of things.
So it was personal. Someone at the house wanted to target someone.
Quite possibly. If it were used offensively, belonging to one of the deceased, well, it doesn't get much more personal than a part of someone's head.
Well, all of the deceased victims had intact teeth, though. Or enough of them that we found, I think. Could it be offensive if it wasn't from a victim?
Sure. Like an attraction spell.
A love charm.
A tooth combined with an object of the person.
Are you able to somehow tell who the tooth belongs to?
Oh, you mean you believe in my abilities? Nice, thank you, Michael. But you shouldn't have. I'm not able to track down a missing tooth in the spirit world like some ghostly private eye DDS. No. Unless you know of someone missing a molar, I'd say we won't know whose it is. What I would assume, given the circumstances, it's that it's not important whose tooth it is, but more what they wanted to do with it. A hair is much more easy to use for those types of spells needing a piece of someone.
Give us some examples. What do people you know get up to with human teeth in combination with something like hair?
Well, like I said, it could be used for a variety of things. The wall was under the room.
Yes. Is that important?
It helps.
Are these good or evil spells?
Can be both. For example, you could use it to attract someone, or on the other hand, to push them away. But such black and white lines, good and evil, don't exist in my community. Teeth are more often used as protective charms, defensive in nature. But it's hard to say anything definite, although likely a powerful spell.
Let's try singer.
I perform a few nights a week at the Lantern downtown. Please, you should come down. I'd love to sing for you, Jeffrey. Rick's been there on several occasions. We've seen blues, jazz, revival, classic, country, and western.
The only music I listen to is gospel and classic.
Well, you can't teach grace.
That's right. Some people are just born with it.
Evidence. Okay, flyer. Let's try Festival of Fire.
I do a lot for the town festival in terms of working with others. I needed some things for the festival. One of the first ones we did a long time ago, so I went to Ruth's store. Figured where better a place to get items for the town's Halloween event than from the notorious Queen of Darkness herself. Somehow she managed to keep the store back open for years already, so I figured she must have something of value in there, back when the festival was small. We had the pumpkin carving tables, a hayride, and the burning of the dummy, as it was called back then, not much else. So I went to her store and I thought I could get props, decorations, there as you'd expect. It wasn't that type of place though. I was looking for stuff you'd buy at a dollar store or Halloween pop-up store nowadays. Instead it's filled with books, crystals, candles, tinctures. I thought I bought some jewelry for myself and went and bought a candle at the grocery store. Their museum cabinet was interesting though.
Museum cabinet. Okay, noted.
You're in the city council, right? What position?
Yes, I'm actually co-chair. I know you're surprised I was elected.
You ran unopposed.
Well, technically. I've been on the council for 6 years coming up.
So you're involved with the big events then?
All of them. Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, July 4th.
What's your role in the October event we just had, the Festival of Fire?
Planning, coordinating, business relations.
A Jill of all trades then. You don't seem like the festival type. All that mingling with random strangers, they just don't seem like your type of crowd. What's someone like you doing involved with an event like that?
It's one of our town's biggest events of the year. I have to be involved.
Not a big fan then. Understandable.
Like I said, it's one of the town's biggest events. All I care is for the people spend their money in our town.
A woman of principles.
I'm comfortable with my principles. Are you familiar with the principles of brevity? Why are you asking me about the festival, Jeffrey?
In all my years in the force, that night is the one night I've taken off for the past 14 years consistently. Because consistently, every night that year, our deputies are chasing down dumb kids, drunk idiots, or God knows what else. The families that do attend are attending less and less because of what it's become. I stay away though. I just have a quiet night in. And now I've got the chance to speak with the Queen of the Menace herself. I'm honored.
Looks like you know how to be humbled then. There's hope for you yet. Happy belated Halloween.
So, she is on the city council. Wow. Evidence. Another flyer. Festival of Fire.
What is the city council's current vision for the festival? What's it supposed to be? Because I know what it's become.
Well, we have our yearly booths. Local businesses buy space in the main for their tables and whatever they're selling. We provide our own guessing someone's weight, dunk tank, random carnival games, bobbing for apples, all the classics. Then we have the animal tent, drink and food vouchers for the bar and the restaurants, and then capping it all off with the light on the hill when it gets dark. It's a good time. You should come out. You may even enjoy it.
It's always on October 30th, right?
Yeah, the night before Halloween.
How come we don't do it on Halloween?
Just people are busy trick-or-treating or parties or whatever.
Right. And this lighting on the hill, as you call it, can you describe it for the record, its purpose, backstory, etc.?
Sure, it's a fun event when we hire local craftsmen to build a different character out of wood and hay, other plans, and then set it alight when it gets dark. Been going on for years, decades. Not sure when it started.
Has it always been in the same place?
Yep, as far as I know, around the point, overlooking the water next to the state park.
Just like Burning Man, right here in town.
So, who chooses these effigies that are burnt?
Oh yeah, We had the robotic plant anyone here.
None of them are ever a specific person. People see who they want to see. As far as the design, I'm not sure. Maybe the local craftspeople? Not my area.
Your friend Ruth, do you work with her on this festival?
Ruth Forsbrand? I believe we have in the past, yeah.
You personally?
Once.
Evidence. Oh, this is Burning Man. Let's try museum cabinet.
The museum cabinet had dirty old sticks, bottles of stuff I couldn't tell what it was, old pieces of paper and decorations. This was a long time ago. Then I went for a tarot card reading recently with my girlfriends. We didn't look around.
Let's try check.
I don't really know anything about the history here, no, apart from what I read on the website.
The website.
That funny touristy website.
She probably means Jack's site, right? Was it called Natural Curiosities of the Olympic Peninsula or something like that?
Yeah, it sounds like it could have been that.
Well, we don't have many websites about the area as far as I know.
The website looked kind of trashy and old. Doesn't really do the area justice.
Oh, I can't recall the name of the website now. I went to it once when it was constantly in the news here at the Herald. All this history about the area. Most of it seemed rather far-fetched. Not sure where he came up with it. The guy who runs the site? His name's Jack, right? I've met him before. All the skill of the settlers and the growing pains somehow having relevance today. Most people in this town haven't been here long enough to begin to know what he's talking about. Jack Thompson, that's it. You know, he owns a little convenience store / small museum / knickknack / whatever makes you money store near the Rock. I really think it's just a way for him to drum up sales for all the quasi-historical tad that he sells. All of those little trinkets and thin books. No doubt the tourists that come lap it up, though. Jack really needs a history lesson. Maybe go to the library or speak with someone to get his facts straight. All this supposed nonsense about the crimes the explorers and settlers committed. Talks of unsavory deals with the native population, land grabs, enslavement, killings, and everything else. Sacrifices? Well, I suppose it brings the tourists, so you don't mind, do you? However, it's insulting to the town. He really needs to be stopped, whether by your organization or he finally comes to his senses. Makes no difference to the community here.
Let's try key.
When we got off the phone, Mr. Morgan said that you had a key to his house. Is that right?
Yes. Just in case they ever got locked out, that sort of thing.
Interesting. You could have mentioned that before. Kind of important information.
Didn't know you'd want to know something like that.
The house was locked when we arrived.
You don't think I had something to do with it, do you?
We're not saying that.
Good. That key is likely sitting in my bureau where I left it after I got it. I can take you there and we can check.
No, we believe you.
And besides, I'm only this big. I mean, how much damage could I possibly do to that many people?
Interesting. Ruth's got a key to the house.
So you were in the house 2 weeks ago, welcoming Mr. and Mrs. Morgan back to the neighborhood. They just stayed there a couple of nights, they said. The weekend. Was that the last time you were there?
Yeah, that would have been it.
See, one of the problems we're having is that the front door was bashed, exactly where someone might have taken a crowbar to open it. But when we looked at it a little closer, we didn't necessarily find evidence that was forcibly opened.
Yeah, it wasn't that messed up.
I think what my partner's trying to enunciate, is that the door was splintered, but not enough where the deadbolt would have been able to have been opened. That part was still intact. I was the one who broke it when I entered. The rest of the house was locked too. So I asked the Morgans, who might have access to the property besides them, if they gave their key to anyone to look after the house when they were away. They said that no one looked after the house while they were away, but they did give their key to their neighbor, Ruth, in case they were ever locked out.
Who is this unknown?
The other thing they mentioned, the Morgans, in speaking with them on the phone, is that they gave their key to various house sitters and other people to look at in the past. Only the neighbor Ruth currently has one, as far as we can tell. And of the people they mentioned, most have either moved out of state, are deceased, or are way out of town with solid alibis. There's only one person on the list that we have yet to check off, and that's you. So please tell us, when did you last have the key to their house?
Must have been about 15 to 20 years ago. We were in our late 20s, and I looked after the place for Craig. He had just inherited the house from his grandparents. I gave the key back, though. Did that come up in your call and your sleuthing?
Okay, fair enough. We're not saying you did anything yet, to be clear, but we can check that out.
She could have made a copy, threw it out.
There's no key. Arrest me. Get a search warrant. Look at my house. There's no key.
Okay, Natalie, we believe you. We'll still double check with Miss Morgan, but we want to ask you one more time. Was last weekend the last time you were at the house?
I said yes.
All right. The witness just saw a female face in the window this morning. Maybe it could have been you, checking in on the break-in for the Morgans, keeping a watch on the neighborhood, that sort of thing.
No.
All right, just interesting. An older lady, and then you.
Sounds like the house is a little more busy than we first thought.
Natalie used to have the key too. Okay, folks. More interesting subject for us, inshallah, will continue in the next episode. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.